the SNP's Tommy Sheppard. Hello to you, Mr. Sheppard. So, Nicola Sturgeon launching the campaign today, saying the election is the most important of our lifetime. She said a vote for the SNP is a vote to escape Brexit. How?
Because if we get the chance, we will make sure that we stop Brexit by putting this whole matter back to the people who decided it in the first place in another referendum. But more importantly, Scotland has the opportunity in this election to demand the right to choose a different future, to choose to be governed in a different way by becoming an independent European country. And we should have that choice in the future and should not be denied it by Boris Johnson. So that's what this election is all about here in Scotland.
So in order for you to get a second Brexit referendum, let's talk about that referendum first, you need a Labour government to get in. Would it not be better then for Scottish voters to vote Labour rather than SNP?
Well, I mean, our first priority at this election is to lock Boris Johnson out of government. So we will be part, if the electorate deal us these cards, we will be part of forming an alternative administration. We would support an alternative administration. Almost any outcome apart from a majority government for the right-wing Conservatives would be desirable for us. So we'll be working to do that. As to whether or not we should vote Labour, I mean, Labour seems to be looking both ways still on Brexit. It is time, really, that Jeremy Corbyn got off the fence. Because if you vote SNP, you can be sure not just that you will get another say in Brexit, but that we will steadfastly campaign to remain a European country. Labour cannot say that, which I think is confusing people in this election. So the best way for people here to stop Brexit is to vote SNP.
But you need a party in Westminster, you need a government in Westminster that are going to offer a second referendum. The Lib Dems want to revoke Article 50 Brexit, but they're not going to get in. Labour could get in as a minority government, potentially, but they've said in those situations, if they did not have a majority, they wouldn't be doing deals. They would operate as a minority government. So then I ask you again how you see a vote for the SNP equating to escaping Brexit.
Well, I mean, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves to speculate on what alliances will be formed in the new parliament before a single vote is even cast. But we're quite clear that we will play our part in locking the Conservatives out of government in the United Kingdom. And we would look to support and discuss the formation of alternative administration. If that happens to be a minority Labour administration, then we would be wanting to engage in those discussions. And we would support that because we share a fair number of social and economic policies, but we would want something in return as well. And Nicola Sturgeon was extremely clear today that what we want in return is respect for Scottish political opinion and respect for the elected Scottish Parliament. And the decision as to whether or when there should be a second independence referendum is a decision that must be taken by the people who live here. That cannot be taken by Boris Johnson or by Jeremy Corbyn. So we want respect from a Labour government of the people of Scotland and their Parliament. And if we get that, then we will play our part in forming an alternative government in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, and Nicola Sturgeon was very clear on those red lines today, that the price of SNP support is very much backing for a second independence referendum. The Tories have ruled it out altogether, but Jeremy Corbyn has said, well, the door's open, but not in the early years of a Labour government. And I wonder, Tommy Sheppard, what the priority is for the SNP heading into this election. Is the priority a second independence referendum, or is it a second Brexit referendum?
So just to be absolutely clear, we're not asking Boris Johnson or Jeremy Corbyn or anyone else to support Scottish independence or even to support a referendum on the matter. What we are asking for is respect, that decision should be taken by the people who live in Scotland and by the Parliament that they elect. We're simply asking that they give a commitment to respect that decision of the Scottish Parliament if they have a majority in that Parliament to do so, and they do not veto or frustrate or try and overturn it, because ultimately this decision is one that has to be taken by the people who live in Scotland, not by Boris Johnson and not by Jeremy Corbyn. So if we can get that respect and agreement then, and that principle is established, then we can talk to Labour and we can talk to other parties about how the United Kingdom gets an alternative government.
Tommy Sheppard, thanks very much indeed.